I had always dreamed to go to Spain, and I had never been out of the country before.
I had never really had a language barrier to deal with.
I knew that I was gonna have a unique experience.
And I knew I kind of wanted to go somewhere in Asia, so Singapore just kind of fell into place for me.
When you go to other cultures, whether you speak the language or not, whether you understand what their customs or not, if you're willing to open yourself up to other perspectives, you can learn a lot.
We didn't know that you had to wash your dishes beforehand, so they gave us a bowl or a teapot of hot water, and then we started to pour it into our cup like it was tea and we were gonna drink it, but it was actually hot water to wash your dishes.
When I arrived in Singapore, I couldn't understand some of the accents. I remember one time someone said a word and I didn't know what it was, so I repeated it to myself to try to figure out what it was, and that person was very offended because they thought I was mocking the way they said the word.
I knew going in that some countries do have negative stereotypes of Americans.
That they come in and instead of trying to accept the local culture, that you keep your own and just kind of run around taking pictures of things, loudly taking pictures of things.
They'll ask you questions like, do all Americans eat hamburgers?
The stereotype we have in France is maybe like Homer Simpson.
When I was in Peru, they called me Akon, and I was just like, oh my God, this is unbelievable.
People also expect you to be carrying firearms with you at all times.
It's just kind of a thing that I think a lot of people do share. It's just really easy just to stereotype, and something that we all got to work on.
But for the most part, I would say my perception of what I thought people were going to think of us was a lot worse than how they actually thought of us.
Don't be afraid to talk to people. Don't be afraid to even point out differences, because then they might find that your perspective on it is something that may be more, more pertinent or even just interesting.
It really gave me just a global perspective on how other people live. I was totally shocked to just be able to meet some of the Spanish students that were in our class so easily, and how kind they were to us, and how just selfless they were to help us out and show us around, show us something they loved and were passionate about.
Just take every opportunity, go outside your comfort zone.
Once you start meeting people and you start traveling and you start getting into the everyday life there, it's a really cool, unique experience.
You'll learn a lot about yourself and you'll be very surprised. You can do a lot more than you think you can.
It's just that experience of trying something new that's really exhilarating, and then afterwards you're really proud of yourself because you said, hey, I went out of my comfort zone. I did something that was very, very weird, for me at least. I did something that I would not normally do. And even if you make a complete ass of yourself while doing it, you had a good time, so who cares anyway?